Hello and welcome to the first proper going away test in the van since I upgraded all the electrics. I'm going first of all to Shropshire and I'm going to spend the night in a marina car park, and then tomorrow night I'm going down to Milton Keynes where I will spend the night in a pub car park. Having said that, I'm probably going out to eat evening meal with friends at a local eatery, so I won't be doing any major catering in the van, but I will be making my breakfast, a cup of tea, something like that at least, and it is the first trial of just going away and checking that all the lights and water pump and everything else just work happily, and seeing how the solar does. Actually, it's a lovely sunny day today. The weather forecast not so good for tomorrow, but we'll see how it does at just generally being used as a van now that I'm all electric.
I'm also testing a dash cam I've been sent by Viofo. It's got 3 cameras, one facing forward, one in the cab, and another peering through my very mucky rear window. I'll do a dedicated review video soon. This footage is not from the dash cam, but my DJI Osmo Action Cam, which is what I usually use for driving shots. The journey was going well until I got stuck behind this car transporter, but luckily it turned off pretty soon and I was left going along some beautiful country roads on this very fine afternoon. I was first heading to a train station to pick up 2 very special guests, American superstar vloggers who were here to try narrowboating.
Guess who it is?
Oh, great!
It's flipping Nikki and Jason Wynn of Gone with the Winds.
You get to see this mess.
It's now 9:30. My guests have retired to bed. They've had a very long day, having flown in from Italy to Gatwick this morning, then the train all the way up here to Shropshire, and the final nail in the coffin that I'm sure has put them to sleep, having dinner with me. So it's not really bedtime for me, and I am contemplating having a nice cup of tea. Actually, just before I do that, since using the kettle involves using the inverter, I'll just show you, I don't know if you can see down there, the white wire, in fact white wires coming from the inverter. I had a few people question whether the bit of wire itself that I was using from the inverter to the sockets on the left was appropriately thick wire, so I have replaced it with appropriately thick wire that absolutely and for definite is sufficiently capable of carrying the full normal however many amps or whatever it is that a full-size UK mains cable can carry. Anyway, look, it's got a 13 amp fuse on the plug and it came with that and the cable is rated for that, so it is all good. And then the other end of one of those cables is that, which I grant you is not totally pretty, but it will do for the moment, bringing that socket out there so that I can plug the kettle or the induction hob in there rather than have the lead go all across the way across the van.
Cup of tea sequence incoming. Incidentally, there will be a full video with the Winds over on my narrowboat channel, Cruising the Cut, coming soon.
Delicious.
Then it was time for bed, and as I'd forgotten one of the duvets, I used my sleeping bag instead. Good night.
Good morning. A pleasant night's sleep. But there has been rain overnight and the forecast today is for quite a lot of rain as well, which is not the best way to introduce some people to narrowboating. Such a shame because yesterday was glorious. However, I suppose I should get up.
This is where I spent the night. I'm actually in the car park of the marina from which the Winds will be going boating at Ellesmere. And fortunately there is a facilities block there, toilet and shower, so I've made use of that this morning. It is what you would call weather for ducks. The boat that Nikki and Jason are having has been out on hire up till this morning, so it'll then be turned around, cleaned and refitted out and made ready for them, so they can't have it till early afternoon, which means for the moment I shall just sit in the van and amuse myself and then go and meet up with them later, and are going to take them shopping for provisions for the boat, and then they'll be getting their instruction and they will head off, as will I, down to Milton Keynes.
Breakfast was not exactly cordon bleu, but it would keep me going.
Not the breakfast I was planning. I was going to do little pancakes, like ready-made pancakes, and just heat them up on the induction hob. But guess who forgot to go to the supermarket to buy ready-made pancakes? Cereal it is then. Just received a message from the Winns. They are ready to go supermarket shopping, so I'll finish my tea and head off. Just before I do, you know how sometimes you can be absurdly pleased by the tiniest little things that just work out right? What I'm absurdly pleased by is down there, next to the 2 plastic containers I store food in, there is just the perfect amount of space to store the kettle. It fits in the end there and is held perfectly in place. It's silly, but I really like that.
Off to Tesco with Nikki and Jason so they could get provisions in for their week afloat. I saw them get their training and handover and then left them to their own devices.
I've now finished filming at the marina and on the canal, and now I need to go off to my next canal filming job, which is in Milton Keynes. Google says it's about 110 miles or so, and it should take me about 2 hours and 17 down the M6 and M1, I think. Better get on with it.
Out of the marina, along the M54 eastwards to the M6, then the M1. Eventually, I arrived at a pub car park in Milton Keynes.
All I've done since arriving in this car park is have a cup of tea, also boil a little bit of water just to wash my face, watch a bit of YouTube. I've had a look at the state of the battery charge because I was curious. Today was very, very rainy for most of the day. The sun did briefly come out, but then the cloud came over again. It was mainly overcast, so I was curious. Obviously I haven't used a huge amount of electricity, but I wasn't sure what the state would be. The fridge has been running all day here in the van, of course. Have used the kettle a couple of times to make tea. The lowest state of charge was 92%, and the solar panels managed to put 300, let's get this right, 300 watt hours back in. That's about 30 amp hours back in, which is about as much as I've used. So we're back up at 97% as I go into the evening. So that is pretty good going. Obviously, no great use of the electricity. I am going to use the induction hob tomorrow morning for my breakfast because I've finally bought some little pancakes, so I'll warm those up and have a cup of tea. And then again, the weather forecast for tomorrow I think not great. So we shall see how we do with the solar. Good morning. I slept quite well in this car park. There was quite a lot of bird song from the birds in the bushes. The canal is right behind the pub, so I think there's lots of bird life and such like around here. Anyway, time for a quick breakfast, and I've got out the induction hob just so I can warm up these ready-made pancakes, and I've got some fake maple syrup to have with them. Real maple syrup is extraordinarily expensive, so I've bought maple flavoured syrup, which was much cheaper. Probably horrible, but much cheaper.
These are the pancakes, 49 pence.
Well, the inverter is running and I've put it on to 3 bars out of 5, and it is both drawing less power than its maximum. It's drawing 460 watts, and it is also cycling on and off, so it's doing a combination of less power and turning itself on and off to give you the lower cooking setting. The pan is warm though, so the little pancakes are warming up.
Yum, yum, yum.
This is where I was overnight. I'm not going to get a lot of solar there, but it's very overcast, so there may not be any anyway. I think I'll leave it there. I am taking the van to Hereford, or very near it anyway, to a company called Bluefix Solutions. They are a certified, authorised, this, that and the other, Victron distributor and installer and so on for camper vans. And they were recommended to me by Oak Tree Motorhomes, who you may remember are the home of Ecotree Lithium, and they gave me my lithium battery. Anyway, I am quite happy with my install of all my gear, but various people in the comments have said, oh, you're going to blow yourself up or electrocute yourself or someone else. So I thought what I'll do is take the van to an actual qualified specialist who can just give the electronics the once over and make sure everything is okay. The sign of Motorhomes is clearly a clue. I'm in the right place. And now I think of it, they did mention Unit 10.
We fit off-grid electrical systems into camper vans and motorhomes.
Lots of lithium batteries, lots of Victron products.
So we take like high-end systems and we integrate it into your motorhome, so you wouldn't even know that that you're not on hookup, for instance. So if all your sockets in your van works, all your microwave works, everything works off electric. Apart from really high draw things like water boiling and air heating, but everything else works. So if you've got a lovely shiny camper van and you want it all to be nice and neat and not have to worry about switching over when you're on hookup.
If you want to save money, you don't have to pay for the electrical sites on campsites. If you want to be fully electric cooking, you don't need gas. So yeah, we do all of that.
Before they started, I had a quick look around their unit. Loads of installs were underway, here fitting an under-seat battery, solar charge controller and a DC to DC battery charger in a camper van. This is the board they take to exhibitions, showing the layout of how things should be wired.
So who did the install?
Me.
Okay. Am I right with my shoes in here?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Pretty clean.
Don't worry about it. The carpet comes out, so...
How you doing?
Hello, I'm all right. Thank you for having a look at this. I was just saying, I just don't want to electrocute myself or anyone else.
The pair got to work on my van and took off the various lids and covers, checking the wires are all in the right place and so on.
This is a tense time, let me tell you. They're muttering about fuses and things.
Is it loose enough to just slot off with that?
Yeah, that's good. What do you reckon, mate?
Oh, I think
fire extinguishers.
Yeah, have you got? Yeah.
All good.
No, that's fine. The only thing I pointed out is it could do with a chunkier ground to chassis. There's a bit of a thin cable there, but the main stuff to you looks alright there.
Yeah, well, main looks good. It's all wired correctly. No cross wires or anything. So
fuses in place. Yeah, we're quite happy.
Yeah.
Well, that is, of course, very gratifying. They're saying it's all absolutely fine, apart from needing a thicker earth bonding to the chassis, and they've given me this whacking great 70mm square cross-section cable that I can use for that. I just need to change the lugs on it. I can do that at home, and then all is well.